Hey team, welcome to another Too Many Projects. Join me in rebuilding a battery pack today, a job for which I have no qualification, no experience, but I promise as I go through it, I will Google some stuff, and by the end, my safety protocols might get a little bit better. Today, I've got Clara's Muddy Fox Courier from 1986, we think. And here's a quick rundown of why Clara's bike is cooler than your bike. Tans tubing. It's a mixed T. Lugwork. 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 Look at this. Look at these gorgeous little flashes with a little Muddy Fox paw on them. A genuine 1980s on your bike retailer sticker. Canties. Thummies. Wide flanged sealed bearing hubs. A Sagino crankset, which is the same era as Sagino 75s, looks as good and is rarer. It's practically NJS. Branded accessories everywhere. These branded grips were in fact in perfect condition, but it's okay because the damage was done by an actual Muddy Fox. Colour-coded gear and brake cable, also dinosaur bell, very cool. I just serviced the original bottom bracket on this. Every part of that bottom bracket was made in Japan and is unnecessarily branded Muddy Fox. So because it's one of the coolest bikes ever, unfortunately we do have to make it less cool because otherwise Clara will be too cool. Possibly for school. In truth, 1986 mountain bikes were really, really heavy, and Clara can get up the hills because she's got the triple with the granny ring, but it would be quicker to walk in most situations, hauling the weight she is in the basket and with the bike. So she just wants to make this a usable London commuter bike again, like it was designed to be. So this is just a quick two-parter, but the main thing I'm going to be doing is rebuilding a battery. So let me show you why. So broadly speaking, I'm very behind the idea of electric bikes. I have a big electric cargo bike and I wouldn't be able to put it up a hill full of 250 kilos, you know, so it's a great thing. If you need a bit more energy to do a 30-mile commute or something, it just stops you from needing a car, and that's really, really cool. But one of the things I have a problem with electric bikes is they're so expensive, and the Swytch kit is a great example of that, because you're taking a bike that has very little value and adding something that's probably worth 4 times what it is onto it, but they've been around a while now. You can actually get a bike that has had a Swytch kit on it for a while for £250, £300 with all the Swytch kit ready to go, and take the Swytch kit off it if you want, put it on your bike. So Clara looked around online and she actually found this. Brand new in its box. Seller wanted 200 quid. Sounds very reasonable, but the seller had bought it, put it in a cupboard and never opened it for a number of years. And so they were very honest in saying the battery, almost certainly 100% dead. And the battery represents a really significant part of the value. 26-inch it was advertised as. Clara opened it up and straight away said, that doesn't look like a 26-inch wheel. It's not. The seller got it wrong. It's a 700 wheel. So two-part video here. The first part is the interesting part. I'm going to try and take apart that battery, and we're going to try and put new cells in it. And then we'll do a part 2 where we'll dismantle this wheel, rebuild it. I think I want to use the original rim off that front wheel that's on the bike now to rebuild it. I think it'll be the same hole count, and then put the Swytch kit together and see if it works. Join me in the garage. We have not been able to revive this battery, but I think taking it apart is actually very straightforward. This is just glued, and then I believe this rubber outer bit actually just pulls off like a mobile phone case, as someone else said in a different video, which is true. And then, simple as a bunch of screws. It's a little sticky, but okay. And so in here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're not 18 650s, they're 21 whatevers. And then I think this grey frame is held into the yellow piece just with 4 screws which are hidden underneath these 2 bits of glue at the end here to prevent people who are less bright than you and I finding them. There's more glue on the bottom though. I can remove the connector. The LEDs here, they look like they want to slide out. Maybe it's just a bit of glue. Yeah, it's just a bit of glue. There you go. Case removed. So I'm guessing this is just the paper stuff that you put on. Okay, so I managed to, with plastic tools and enormous care, take one screw out the circuit board and just prise it gently off the top. And now what I can see is, on the circuit board here, we've got our two major battery connections at the far left and right. We've got 5 flying leads coming off that circuit board going to the cells at the bottom, and then 5 sort of hidden connections which go to the cells at the top. Then it's got this, which I'm guessing is a little heat safety detector. So the next job is going to be desoldering all of these, I think. And I understand the right thing to do is to desolder them from positive towards negative. And then, only then, take off the main battery terminal cable. So that's what I'm going to do. And so I think now this circuit board should come off. I'm just going to make sure it's only glue holding it. It is. That is the battery management system disconnected from the pack. So next, what I need off this is the plastic chassis that they're sitting in. I don't think I can get that chassis off without removing the nickel strips here. And the method I've read about to get these off, and just rip them off, but like a sardine can. And that's the plastic chassis I need off. That's gone well. Do the same on the other side. After 2 years sitting in its original packaging without having been charged, out of interest, 3.4 volts, 0 volts, 0.02 volts, 0.02 volts, even less volts, negative 0.1 volts, 2.8, 3.4, 3.4, 3.4. So remarkably, these 5 cells are, I mean, they're not even really a danger to me because they're 0 volts. This one, sitting at 2.9, is probably dead. And I mean, these 4 are sitting at 3.43 volts. It's possible that if I had a charger specifically for 21700, it might be okay. I mean, the budget build is to buy 6 new cells rather than 10, but I think we're going to splash out a bit and get some more modern, higher capacity cells. Right, a shopping list is what I need. I need a bunch of nickel plates. I need some cells, 10 new 21700 cells, and I need little paper rings to go on the top, and enough, I think they call it fish paper or something, enough to make sure we can cover all of this stuff that I pulled off here. So, I'll be right back. Okay, a few days have passed. Stuff has arrived and will arrive while I'm filming. Let's see what good stuff we've got. These are our new cells. These are our little rings to put on the top. And then over there I've got some fish tape and some Captain tape. So these outgoing ones are Samsung 50Es. The 50 is a shortened version of their capacity. These are a 65Es, and these are from a manufacturer called BAK, B-A-K. It seems to be that these have a good reputation. You're supposed to put on straight away, why don't they do it in the factory, a little ring like these. It stops them from shorting out in this area. I don't understand why they would, but I've done that on this one. I'm just sort of vaguely interested about energy density. People talk about energy density. I wonder if it's the same as physical density. So here's our 50E, 69 grams. New one, 74 grams. So it is heavier. This will be 150 grams heavier overall when we finish it. Interesting. First thing we're going to do, put little round stickers on those. Now we're going to do the thing we should have done first. just to check the voltage on each individual one and make sure they're... I guess, I don't know what I'm checking really. Am I checking that they're okay from the factory? I guess that's important. There can be errors. Or am I checking that they are balanced between each other? There should only be 0.05 volts between them when you build it. So that one was 3.46. 461, they're all really close to each other, so I guess 0.05 is quite a big margin. 464, that's been the furthest out. It's nowhere near 0.05 out. They look fine. Now I want to put them in this. I'm going to build it into a physical pack before I do anything with it. And so when we put our BMS in, which is here, negative is at the top, at that end. This is the negative side. So my first one is going... Oh, they're a bit stiffer than the old ones coming in now. And that's going to be the negative terminal that links onto the BMS. They're going to alternate in the way round they are each time. These higher capacity cells are a bit tighter. They're going in. I'm not forcing too hard, but they're not. The other one's slipped in. Right, the next job is going to be to weld on the nickel strips. And there's two problems with that. One, they're arriving within the next half an hour. And two, I haven't had a play with my new machine yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that to one side. As if by magic, moments later, the delivery driver came, and these are some 0.2 mil thick, over 99% nickel strips, 10 mil wide. So they fit across there, you see. Each one will go into one of these gaps. The old ones had these little tabs coming off them as well. The little lead that connects to the BMS in each positive terminal came down and it solders onto there. So we're going to have to construct some of those. But I've never done this before, so my first thing I'm going to do is take a broken battery, get this guy out. So it's not an unboxing video, just give me a minute, I'll work out how it works. Alright, I've messed about with my settings, and I've cut out 9 strips. Now they fit in these sections here. They need to have a little tail coming off them, and so I've got a bunch of other little strips here. And the first thing I've done is I've roughed up the surface in the middle here, and I'm going to start by making up these little pieces. So that'll be welded on like that. But I've realised that the first probe can go down straight away and hold the assembly in place while the second probe comes in. I'll see if I can get this in a nice way to film it. And then, as if by magic, a little spark. We've got penetration, it's stuck together, I can't pull it off. So I'm going to go up ahead and make 9 of these little things. Useful notes. I was just out of view down here doing it on the workbench, and I noticed it was making some marks, so I got a bit of scrap wood. Wood is not the thing to be doing this on. It literally vaporizes in the moment that the weld happens and moves out the way. So I am now using this system where I've got the machine on a house brick, and that has made a huge difference. Okay, I'm feeling a lot more confident about the welding now. So each of these is going to be going on there like that. You know what? It's not good to do hot things near batteries, so actually what I need to do is pre-solder all these. Alright, I was just prepping to turn the camera on and start welding these, and I noticed a little problem. 21.6 mil diameter, 21.1. So that half a mil extra diameter across these new ones means they're going into these, but they're pushing them apart slightly. So what I've worked out is, inside here, can you see where the circumference of the circular plastic clip doesn't quite come together? Just here, you've got these kind of pointy bits that stick out on the case. And if you look on this side, they're a lot further apart, and then at the bottom they come closer together. It's only those that are causing the problem. So if you make this side the same width all the way down, like this one I prepared earlier, they fit again. They fit fine if you do that. It's only half a mil across the whole thing, so it's 1/4 of a mil each side. Okay, so all I'm doing is slotting these in there like that, getting my electrodes. Now originally it had 4 welds on it, but I'm going to do 6 on each side this time if I can. So that feels good. And then this piece will just bend round into that space. Gotta be honest, team, I'm pretty happy with that actually. I was a bit worried about it because it took me a long time to get the settings dialed in to where I wanted them. That's actually all been really smooth, really smooth. I must remember now that it's dangerous and I shouldn't put my hands on it like that. So the next thing to do, across the bottom here, I want to put some fish tape. Why the f*** is it called fish tape? Nobody knows. Quite as pretty as it was originally, but it does the job it's supposed to. I need to do the top as well, but first of all I need to put these end ones on. So with that together, and this being the negative terminal and this being the positive terminal, we should now have 3.45-ish, and that should add about the same each time, so 6.9. 34.6. So that all looks good. The next job is to secure the battery management system back onto the top of the thing, solder it in nicely. The battery management system has got to sit on the top. First thing I'm going to do is just where we've got these legs that come over, I'm just trimming them down to the right length, like so that we can solder them onto the board. Oh, I'm really happy with that soldering. I'm getting so good at soldering these days. I mean, you know, I'm not the best in the world, but it's nice for it to work. When I used to work, you know, I used to do some really work. Now I'm told the correct procedure here is to go from the negative wire and then all the different sensor wires up to the positive wire in that order. So I've soldered on all of the, I don't know what to call them, I'm calling them sense wires, the wires that check each individual cell. I've soldered on the end and I'm happy with the fact that there's enough solder on there, there's enough contact, and it's all flowed together nicely. I had an accident. I used the scissors and I'm a bit worried I've killed the battery management system, but basically there's nothing to do here now. This is now a finished battery. It just needs to go back into its case. So let's just do a quick check. We should have 3.46, somewhere close to 7, and over here the full 34 on the actual output terminals, 21.7. That doesn't seem right. Where I potentially shorted something out, we're going to see. The problem I've got at the moment is I get the correct voltage by measuring it across the whole pack here, but when I measure it on the output terminal here, I don't get the correct voltage. The internet tells me that this might be fine. It's because we've had it in pieces and we've put it back together. The BMS needs to be woken up by the charger. It says chuck this in for 30 seconds and see how it goes. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. We're on charge, we're turned on. Now I'm going to unplug the charger. Boom. We've got our full output there now. I think I might have done a good thing, everyone. I think I might have done a good thing. I'm very excited. I put it on the charger for a bit. It seemed to be fine. Then I read that you're not supposed to charge these packs until they're fully in their chassis because they can expand and that can be bad. So I didn't charge it for long, but it seemed to go absolutely fine. Let's try and get this back in here. All right, and rebuild it quickly. Shouldn't take a minute, really. There's a damaged wire here. I did not damage that. That's gone under the screw in the factory. I'm going to have to desolder it from the board, put a piece of heat shrink over that, and then resolder it again. First job, get the connector back in there. Alright, slide the LEDs circuit board back in there. Stick the whole thing back where it goes. It's very tight in here. The extra 0.25 mil per side of how much bigger these cells are is causing me a lot of problems. But let's try and neaten this up quickly. Right, that's everything pushed back where it goes. Not gonna lie, that was a bit of a battle trying to get that closed, but those bigger cells have fitted. And if anyone's interested, send me a message, because I did make some minor adjustments to the case inside to make it fit. This is still really sticky. I'm sort of tempted just to shove it back. Otherwise, it would just be some double-sided sticky tape. But if I just... It's fine. It's as if we were never here. It's still got the original factory tape on it. You know what would be a dishonest thing to do? Would be to flip it on the internet for 500 quid, right? But then we wouldn't have one. Let's just test it. All right, so I've just got the mount and the honestly pretty crappy screen for such an expensive product, but it does what it needs to. Could have been probably a quarter of the size. My brand new battery. Looks like it works great. So that's really cool. All right, everyone. Thank you all for watching. So that is the battery. As if new. I'm just going to pack everything back into the box and put it back in the cupboard there. But I will shortly do a part 2, rebuild it on a 26-inch rim and get the bike up and working and tested. But so far, that was pretty fun and saved some money. See if I can get this all back in a box now. I will see you on the next one.